Lucky last, Pisces moon, hello. This is my shower, and I'm currently in the bathroom broadcasting this for the world to see, as I am also very intrigued as my boyfriend has a 12th house moon, and I would like to know what this all means. Well, if you've got your moon in Pisces or your moon in a 12th house, things are a little blurry. Guidelines, borderlines, systems, friendships, liquefied. There's a liquidation type feeling to pretty much most emotional affairs when it comes to the heart or the mind or the wallet or the room that is the bedroom. Everything sort of seems a little bit strange. Things to be said but not really mentioned, things not to be said but mentioned. Things kind of go out of place and out of kilter for a while until you can see the true meaning of life. But in most cases, the moon in Pisces creates in you a freedom to just become that gorgeous guest or that wonderful human being, that nice person. Become over time through choice. And that is what Pisces moon or 12th house moon is very good in contrast with, okay? They don't really need to know who you are. They can just feel it out. Look, this feels nice. Look, I'm sitting next to you and you're a gorgeous lady and I got my arms around you. This is good, all right? Like, this is nice. Look, we got a house together. Or like, this woman may feel, look, I've got everything done. I've got all the washing on the line. I've done it. Like, this is a gorgeous place to be. I've lived in this home for a while and this is enough. But sometimes things will go astray. Like, you will plan things out and you'll feel, I am enough. Look, I've done all I could. I am good. I am in the free go zone. I'm good. I am good. And then suddenly things just give way and you don't really understand how or why, but things shift around and suddenly you don't need that anymore. Or, you just don't need that anymore. Like, you'll accommodate to yourself in a way of a partner who really cares for you and you've got everything together. Who you are will shift when you feel everything is got. When you got everything, like you've got your partner, you've got your kids, you've got your abode, and you're no longer wondering who am I or what to do. You're kind of like, oh, here, I got it. Okay, I've got 2 beautiful children, and I've got a wonderful, gorgeous lady as a woman who's my wife. And then in no time, you'll just, but she's not for me. She's just not. And there'll be a very weird sensation of like, no, don't. But then you'll be like, rip, and then things change. And in terms of your fascia and the different organs in your system, things will not be the same ever. Things will always shift. Perhaps you've got more weight today, less tomorrow. You've got things out of place, you've got things in place. And this person that you are can heal wounds incredibly soon after they're made. You can mend. You've got a body that will be capable of mending and breaking itself always and sort of gluing and stitching itself in different ways. Systems that you have in your mind are also very accommodating. Anything to do with guests. Digestive system is very good at performing for parasites. Seriously, like say you get a parasite in your blood, in your body, and then you can just live with it for a long time. And then you kind of feel like, oh yeah, they could be part of my blood for a while, part of my system, and then you can just squeeze them out. Like, they just leave by themselves. You've got this really interesting system of your unconscious which works supremely well until you know there is no more to do. It's like you cross into a life and then you'll cross into another and then another still, until you'll realize that things are not to be lost and found. Things are just to be enjoyed, and that's sometimes very hard for this moon to do. So what next? Well, this moon, this lunar being that you are, has to be completely empty in a way of mind. soon or late. It has to happen. There needs to be some time in your life where you need to be still without worry, because what you do sometimes, you create a checklist. You go, okay, so fancy car, check. Then I got the nice place, check. Then I got a wife, check. And then I got a few different things to do, check, 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 check. And now I've got a few different things to visit, like I've got to go to Paris, I've got to go to New York, I've got to London, check, check, or maybe not this time, check, you know, things like that. And then you eventually understand that you've been creating something and compiling and complying to other people and society and things and, you know, places and businesses and things like that, in which you don't see you anymore. You're like, hang on. So I got the house and the garden. Okay, I bought everything. I got the boat. I got the job. And it felt good. And you felt like really compliant. And you felt like it could be you for a while. And then after a while, you kind of go, get rid of it. Like, you just don't want it. And that's why, if you don't stop and listen to you, there is just no way of gathering enough material information about you in this world. So this is what you sort of like come to be sometimes. These people can come to be a realization that is too soon about wanting to shift, or too late. Sometimes they want to shift really quickly, like they get a job in an industry that they deserve, they think, like they've done a course or a degree, and then they get the job, and then they go, why? No wonder. And then they just leave. And there could be this big shift into consciousness, or like some kind of a conscious knowing of who they are, and then perhaps they could compile a life eventually that would make sense to them. But sometimes these people build on the old blocks for too long. Like they're gone, I want, say, a blonde with boobs, and that's what they said to themselves when they were like a 16-year-old boy. And then they find that woman when, you know, he's 28 and she's 24 or something, and then they get married, you know, because it's like old blocks and old consciousness. And then the guy's like, wait a minute, there's this really hot English girl with red hair, you know, that works at my job, but I just can't stop staring at her breasts. She's got no breasts. I love that, you know. And he'll just change like that. Like, it'll be really practical. And I know it sounds really cruel and mean, but it'll be a practical thing. Like sometimes these people will be like, I want a woman with curves and hair, like these guys. Or they can be like, I want a woman with no curves and no hair. Like, it'll be just one of those things. Like, it's a very plain ideal. It's not even about like the heart for these people. Basically, they're compiling themselves out of the bits and pieces of their life. And perhaps if you're a perfectionist in the time being, and you're looking at how you are putting your house together, you're looking how you're putting your life together, how you're treating your woman, you know, because a man should do this, and how a woman, you know, is combing her hair, and how you're creating a reality for you out of these objects and out of the different things in your reality. Perhaps it's time to stop and feel, like listen to your heart, listen to the breath in your lungs. And listening seems to be a big point here. Because what they need to see is that the world is not just black and white scenarios in which they can tick a box or be that or this through another object or another person. They have to eventually see what they eventuate to. And that can be very hurtful for them to understand or remember. But perhaps in their past life, because 12th house moon, you know, Pisces moon, unconscious, like past lives long ago, they've been a woman or a womanizer who gave up, you know, who gave up on somebody for no reason where they should have been there. Or they're like trying to look for a woman or for a friend or for a partner who's no longer living. Or they're trying to go through numerous incarnations in one lifetime in order to survive the previous storm, survive some kind of a formidable or a strange scenario, because they've had all that and more in the past life. It's like they've known it to be beautiful, they've known it to be perfect. And then they are like in this lifetime sort of trying to meet that ideal. They're looking backwards and forwards through time, trying to create or caress caress out of this existence a type of formidable energy that can be relatable, because they've got to build on top of what they've done in their past life here, and they kind of feel like they've got no feeling of it though, because amnesia is part of the of how it goes here, in the world of the living, and we can't relate back to them sometimes. Like, we can't relate to what they want from us or what they're wanting from this world, because they've come from a totally different place, and they still got this plate in front of them where they're trying to replace what they do not have yet in this life to be completely compatible with what they've done in the past. It's like they're building on a very old matter. If this person was some type of a king in a polarity life, where they had the goods, had this, and they compiled a lot of information together, they started a new system, for their kingdom or their country or something, and they've given a lot of gusto about something. This moon may represent to them that they need some type of an escort. Like, they'll need to remind themselves of that past time activity where they've got a woman, like if they're a man, in their grasp who can provide that royal essence to them, or they've got to have that past time activity that they used to enjoy as a child, where they bring to them a woman or a feminine presence that can be very susceptible to who they are, past, present, and future, not just this life. They may like somebody who's a psychic. They may like somebody who can see them through space and time. They may want somebody who will give them what they do not yet grasp even. Like, perhaps they've got a feeling like this woman is overseas. Like if they're a man. And, she's got to be that, which is like, say, blonde and curvy, or redhead, with small breasts and, a very tight physique. And they'll just create this very straightforward idea that is based in the physical world on a romantic notion of regaining what they do not have anymore. And why this person has come here? Well, if you're a woman and you've got 12th house moon, you are a psychic, or you're a very psychically evolved in a huge way, and you've gone into this reality sort of for a moment. I mean, continuously browsing through different realities instead of staying in this one alone. You may want to switch lanes. You may want to switch your passports. You may want to citizenship yourself in different states or different provinces and different worlds, really remote places too. You may not like it to settle in a giant town where everybody knows your name. You would probably prefer to be somebody who's a little bit incognito, or in some way superior to reality itself, by creating your own realizations about life through inner worlds, instead of masking yourself with reality of like the big car, the big house, the big things eventually. And perhaps if you're a woman, you are most likely to confine yourself or be confined in by somebody very smart or clairvoyant as well, but you'll always feel out the way forward through clairvoyance and through clear feeling, knowing, without regrets. Like, you'll just feel it out, and eventually you'll be pretty much blinded by reality. You'll just be moving through time and space without even feeling for actual physical matter. You'll become somebody who's like, I want to say a province oracle, like somebody who's in the outskirts of reality, outskirts of things, not in the midst about surrounded by people and cars and places and hospitals and freaky people, although that is possible too. But I'm feeling like you can be somebody where you can be alone in your later years, or even early years if you wake up early. And then you can commit to a life of just sitting around or just glancing, like a glance from you if you're a woman and you're awakening with your moon in Pisces, a 12th house moon. You can just glance. And then in that one glance, there is just a world of possibility, and you can heal and hear people from a mile away. And that means that you don't even need to be in the presence of anyone in particular. You don't need to do any kind of psychic work, special, extraterrestrial research, anything like that, anything paranormal. You don't need to even put yourself there. It's like, yeah, you can just, and you can just feel it. You can just feel into the frequency of ever more. You can free yourself through space and time, through just beginning to be. Just beginning to be, like sitting down, like when you just sit down and you got this freshly made cocktail, and you're just sipping it. And it doesn't matter how old you are, or you were, or you is, or you will be. You know what I mean? Like everything merges and you're just sipping this drink. And then you're just like, whoo, and you're everything. And everything is just everything. And everything is just frequency and everything is just vibration. If you're a man, it won't be easy for you if you're a man, because in this field of knowing, the man in the 12th house moon, the man in the 12th house feelings of the feminine, feels that the woman is very far. Okay, the ideal, the kingdom of heaven, is very far indeed. This person will be torn between women for a while. Maybe they will look at one woman member in their family and then disagree with another, or they'll want a female who's not like anyone they've ever seen. They'll want somebody from another direction, different dimension, different country, different origins. They'll want someone out there to come in and give them the time of day. This man is looking for a woman if he's not brave enough to see her in him. If he cannot see the feminine one within him, he cannot find it outside. If he can't see that he's feminine already. If he can, if he's got a very formidable chart where he's got like a Capricorn rising, and his 12th house is in Sagittarius, got his moon there, and then he's got his sun in Cancer. Okay, something like that. There could be a hope that this person is very brave enough to bend boundaries and skip along very fast. They can skip a lot of lives in one, and they can change realities really fast. And they can also really succumb to the fact that everyone is everything. And that means that when I'm looking for a woman, it just means I'm looking for her and me. And perhaps I am that which I am looking for, which means I'm not looking. And then when a man cannot be looking for the female factor, or looking towards the woman to do this and that and provide life, and look towards the earth to provide abundance and we can look towards the earth, but not towards the moon. If he's still looking to his mom, it's hard. If he still idealizes his mother, it's hard. If he still thinks that his mom and his dad are polar opposites, it's very difficult. But say if he's become like the earth, he's become like the stream, he's become like the moon, he's become like everything. He's got it, and he can really triumph over himself and triumph over life on earth in general, and how it's gone in the past and how it's going to go in the future. It will not matter. He'll just become one with the moon. And that becomes very clear indeed for somebody who can be completely uninhibited in a public eye. If you're a man and you're still thinking, I need the car, I need the mortgage, hey look, I look really good in front of these people, hey, these people want me, these people don't want me, these people and that person, if you are still puffing your chest out and you're looking towards them to give you an opinion, that's not very good. If you can find it in you to just be in the stars, if you can look at yourself as mostly female sometimes, and sometimes freakishly just male, and see how your gender shifts, then that far away, I'll get the woman once, and she'll be a psychic woman and she'll be better than the other woman I've known. Don't look for the ideal woman. It's you need to just connect to the woman in you, and then when you can do that, and you can complete in full sanctity the feeling of freedom of being with anyone, just being, just breathing, that means that you can evolve much faster than you would have done elsewhere, or with another person even. It means that you would need to start doing stuff that the earth and the moon are confiding in each other about. What are they talking about? The earth and the moon. If you're a married man, if you've come to this life and you decided to do that this way, then listen to your mum and your sister talking. Listen to her and her. Listen to the woman between you. So for example, if you've got a woman and then she's got a mum, listen to what they're saying to each other. If you've got, say, a daughter and you've got a wife, listen to how they interact, and then see how the feminine mind works, and then how the masculine frequency compels it to be whatever, or how that feminine mind affects the masculine frequency. And you see the chemical balance. You can see the androgyny in all things. And then after a while, you'll sort of become sort of very still and stiff in yourself. Better still than stiff, but you'll become like very stiff, I guess, with age. If you are a man and you got moon in 12th house and you're still looking for a woman to complete you, because when you denounce your masculinity, 12th house moon means she's far away, my feminine is far away, my fascia is not, systematic with me, it's not complying to me. When you become stiff with age, time to see the dog. Okay, if there is a stiffness in you, like constant stiffness and constant exasperation, like you get really tired from your man job and you get very stiff in your shoulders and your neck and your back and your legs don't bend in the same way, goodness gracious, you have to see a doc. You have to see somebody who knows who you are as a man, as a person, a physical practitioner. You need to see a physical practitioner who can really kick things into place without thinking he's a man or she's a woman. You have to get somebody who can just look at you as meat and not define you as one or the other, and then they can most likely help you fix your guts and the different side effects of stiffness like that has on the body. They can really heal you and help you. If you go to a healer who's like a counselor and a bit holistic and a bit fresh and stuff, they won't see you. But if you go to somebody who just deals with meat, like seriously, sounds really weird and brutal, but like a brutal physical counselor, brutal physio massage, really, like when somebody doesn't care who you are, they don't care about who you are, what you look like, what perfume you're wearing, they don't care, and they go for it. They go to town with your body. They really get into all the nooks and crannies, and they really make you feel good, and they really make you feel better in your body. Then perhaps it is good. Say if you're a man and you've chosen a sort of like physical sexual experience, like a very strong type of sexual experience. You got 12th house moon, sorry, it's a bit late, or like Pisces moon, and you've chosen a very sexualized lifestyle where you explore things in a very deep and strange connection with people, and you explore different portals of yourself, and you explore things in a very different way, in a very vulgar perhaps way to other people. That's because you can mend yourself through that. You can actually connect to all of you through becoming one with every part of your body, organism, without saying, I will never let anyone touch this, and I will only touch this like this, and I will only... So like if you can become more exuberant in your sexual nature, then you can become almost as if a woman and a man in one body, and then through sexual experience you can flourish and become less stiff and less hardwired with your masculinity. Though I would probably suggest, if you don't want to follow the sexual path, which is wise, yoga will get you far. If you can not do yoga all the time, you get bored. I would really get you to probably sit in a sauna for a freaky long time, once a week at least. Get completely devoured by heat. And then this is like a physical thing, physical results thing. And then you go to a yoga master and you do like a master class of yoga just once a week, seriously. And if you can eventuate it into some kind of a Thai massage, some kind of a sensual healing practice, anything like that. But it needs to be at least once a week for you if you're a man, and if you've got a moon in your 12th house and you haven't yet connected to the woman in you. You're still looking for her out there. Another thought of the day is for women who are connected to a man who's got 12th house moon. This is for me. Don't worry if he's straying or you fear that he might, because 12th house moon male will not find it in its perfection. That means he will not feel it in his body. So if he's not feeling it in his body for you, he's not with you. If he's still if he's feeling it in his body for you, there's a lot of romance in the air for you, then you'll know. But if he's feeling no more for you and there's like a coldness in the air and a spark in his eyes, there is a chance that there is a grieving process that you have to go through in order to let him out of you and into a new paradigm for you, not for him. So when you've got a man who's looking too much to other women in a 12th house Venus or 12th house moon, it may not mean that he's looking for you to be replaced, but it may mean that he's looking for a similar frequency in you through admiring loving frequency from another woman. So sometimes it's really complex like that, but it's very simple and very similar to, I guess, women sometimes too. If you've got a 12th house Saturn, if you're a woman, or if you've got a 12th house Pluto, especially, I've got that as well, most likely these women will look for other men just to replace the previous story of him and her. So they look to other men sometimes to replace the story that they've had with their man in the past, when they look at other stories and other pictures and other men, but they don't necessarily want to merge with the other man. They're just looking for a different frequency in order to fulfill their current state of being. Anyway, I hope this was not too confusing, and I hope I was polite enough referring to you in all these different ways. I hope you've had a wonderful time. And if you'd like, please contact me, write to me, email me, drop me a line if you'd like a reading or healing. I would love to do that for you. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you next time.